If you thought Jannik Sinner might slow down on home soil, think again, because what unfolded in Rome on Monday was less of a tennis match and more of a statement to the entire tour. The world number one walked onto the court carrying the weight of expectation, the roar of the Italian crowd, and a 24-match winning streak that already had people talking about history. What he delivered, though, felt even more ruthless than expected. From the very first few rallies, it was clear Alexei Popyrin was not just playing against a top seed, he was playing against a machine operating at full efficiency. Sinner didn't need time to settle. He didn't need to feel out the conditions. He simply imposed himself immediately, dictating every rally with that clean, flat striking that has become his trademark. Popyrin tried to absorb the pressure, but it felt like standing in front of a storm that kept getting heavier with every passing minute. The first set raced away 6-2. But even that scoreline doesn't fully describe how one-sided it felt. Sinner's movement was sharp, almost effortless, as if the clay under his feet was cooperating with every step. Popyrin, meanwhile, looked rushed into errors, finishing the match with 23 unforced mistakes, many of them coming from moments where Sinner had already taken control of the point before it even truly began. By the second set, there was no contest left to speak of. Turned into a complete shutdown. A 6-0 bagel at this level is never just about skill. It's about suffocation. Sinner broke serve repeatedly, 5 times in total across the match, and the pattern became brutally predictable. Popyrin would try to find first serves, land just under half of them, and immediately find himself under pressure again. There was no rhythm, no breathing space, and no escape. What makes this run even more striking is what it represents beyond just one match. This was Sinner's 25th straight victory, a number that doesn't just happen by accident. It places him in rare historical territory, tying him with Novak Djokovic as the only players to start a season with 25 Masters-level wins. The only difference? Djokovic's legendary run stretched even further to 31 back in 2011, a benchmark that now quietly sits in the distance as Sinner continues to climb. But what's perhaps most dangerous about Sinner right now is not just the winning streak, it's how normal he makes dominance look. There is no drama in his victories, no visible frustration, no emotional swings, just clean execution point after point, game after game. Against Popyrin, there was never a moment where the result felt in doubt after the early break. With this win, Sinner now moves into an all-Italian showdown in the next round against Andrea Pellegrino, and that matchup carries a different kind of pressure. Pellegrino, ranked 155 in the world and coming through qualifying, has already produced one of the stories of the tournament by beating 20th seed Frances Tiafoe in straight sets. For a player who had never even stepped onto a Masters 1000 main draw before this week, his breakthrough has been nothing short of remarkable. Now he walks into a stadium where the crowd will be overwhelmingly behind Sinner, facing not just the world number one but also the expectations of an entire nation waiting for a historic moment. Because beyond the winning streak, beyond the rankings, there is something even bigger on the line for Sinner in Rome. No Italian man has won the Italian Open in 50 years, not since Adriano Panatta lifted the trophy. That statistic has followed Italian tennis for decades like a shadow. And Sinner knows exactly what is at stake. If he continues this run and lifts the trophy, it won't just be another Masters title added to his growing collection. It would complete his set of Masters 1000 events, a rare achievement that separates great players from all-time greats. It would also rewrite a piece of Italian tennis history that has remained untouched for half a century. At one point, Gauff was staring down defeat. A match point against her at 5-4 in the second set, the pressure building, the crowd sensing an upset. In frustration, she even struck herself in the head, a rare glimpse into just how emotionally draining the contest had become. But what followed was the kind of turnaround that defines champions. She saved that match point, clawed her way back into the set, and slowly shifted the momentum. After nearly 3 hours on court, Gauff completed a 5-7, 7-5, 6-2 comeback that felt more like survival than dominance. It wasn't her cleanest performance, especially on clay this season, where she has struggled for consistency, but it was a reminder of her resilience. Now she moves into a quarter-final clash with Mira Andreeva, another rising force in women's tennis. And while Gauff's path has been far more turbulent than Sinner's so far, both players find themselves at a similar stage of expectation, carrying the hopes of their respective sides of the draw. Back in the men's tournament, all eyes now shift to Sinner's next step. Every match from here feels heavier, not because of the opponents alone, but because of what the streak represents. Each win brings him closer to history, closer to breaking a 50-year drought for Italian tennis in Rome, and closer to joining a very exclusive list of players who didn't just dominate tournaments, but defined eras. The question now isn't whether Sinner is playing well. That part is already clear. The real question is how long anyone can realistically stop him on this surface, in this form, and in front of this crowd that seems to grow louder with every passing round. If Rome was supposed to test him, so far it's only confirming what the rest of the tour already fears. Jannik Sinner isn't just winning matches. He's controlling narratives. And right now, that might be the most dangerous form of dominance in tennis. And as the tournament moves deeper, one thing feels certain. If this level continues, we are not just watching a title chase. We are watching history unfold point by point, game by game, in front of a home crowd that knows exactly what it is witnessing. The only thing left is to see who, if anyone, can slow it down.